to Content and Conversion Summit Day 4. I hope that you are getting value so far. I hope that you're kind of following along and engaging with the Facebook group if you're able to. And for those of you who have got the all access pass and started going through some of the exclusive interviews, I hope you're getting massive value from them too. So we have left the link down below here for you to be able to get that all action pass, but more about that later on. So we're going to kind of get right into it today because we've got four strategies I want to share with you, and I'm going to share with you a little strategy at the end as well. We're going to be covering copywriting that converts, the mindset with social media, a WhatsApp secret sales strategy, which is awesome, and then a curiosity post that helps people launch their business using social media. And then I'm going to come on and talk to you about a very, very important tool that everyone should be using on social media now. All right. So here we go. The first person who I'm interviewing is a good friend of mine, actually. I probably met him and his wife, I think about 2.5 years ago at an event in Nashville, in the US. And like since then, I actually ended up hiring him and his wife to run my ads. Right? So he writes the ads, writes the scripts, writes everything up. And then his wife, Michelle, she actually then goes in with her team and actually creates the ads. So if you've ever come across me because of an ad, maybe you saw an ad of mine involving the book, or you saw an ad of mine about a webinar, or maybe you saw the ad to join this Content and Conversion Summit, they will be the reasons why the copy that converts. So I said, Bill, can I interview you with some of the processes that you have in place that have been able to write content that converts like crazy and gets me so many leads and sales so that people can use the same thing in their network marketing business? He said, yeah, sure, let's do it. So I want to play to you the interview that I did with Mr. Bill Pescosolido. All right, Bill, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Frazer. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
Yeah, loving life, mate. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. So, Bill, as the guys are listening now, they know that you are the guy that I speak to frequently about all things copywriting. And every time people people look out there, and if they actually go out there to look to hire a copywriter full time in a business that they've got, whatever, it's a very, very, very expensive hire for people to make, because you can literally convert based on the content you can create. So how have you become an expert, on what kind of framework would you give the people listening for them to improve the quality of their copywriting or the captions in their posts that they make in order to maybe generate some sales or leads or more people taking action?
Sure. So how I became really good at this is not what I would necessarily recommend for maybe the vast majority of your audience who's listening right now. I've just spent years and years and years doing this. I've really immersed myself in this. I've bought a bunch of courses. I've read a bunch of books. I still about once a month go into Amazon to find a new book on copywriting just to add it to my library. So I'm constantly adding to my repertoire. I'm constantly getting a new, we just bought a new course for our agency last week, $500 that was specific to Facebook ads and Facebook ad copy and so forth. So the learning journey never ends. And I feel that pretty much everyone listening here right now already knows that, I'm sure, to a certain degree. You're always still learning. You're always still getting better. You should never feel like you know it all and stop that process, right? We all need to keep growing. So, but for me, I've done it that way because, my specific intent was I wanted to become the best darn copywriter I could be, because that's the role, one of the main roles I play within our agency. Now, for many people listening right now, their goals might be very different than mine. Their goal might be, well, I just want to refer some people into my business. I just want to get some traction. I just want to, build a team. I want to make $1,000 a month, or I want to, whatever that goal might be. Which is probably not master the art and science of copywriting. So, which is totally cool, right? So what I wanted to share today is something for your audience that I think will help them right away, something they can instantly use in their business and instantly apply this to their social media posts without having to though spend years and years like I have done, without having to buy lots of courses and, get a new book every month on copywriting. It's just a really kind of nice, neat, clean formula that they can use almost always. Does that sound good?
Yeah, man, I'm all in for that. I like improving the caption game, so I'm in.
Okay. So I think, formulas are great. And within the world of copywriting, there's some fairly foundational or traditional formulas that have been used over time. And the reason why formulas are great is because it helps guide you, the person writing, where you're not wondering, okay, what do I do next? How do I even structure this? Like, this thing is all over the map. I don't know what's going on. So it keeps it nice and neat and tidy for you and keeps you organized with your thought process. But the other big reason why formulas are great is because they work, right? And one of these formulas I'm going to share has been proven time and time again. This is a time-tested, proven, field-tested, proven formula that will work. It will help capture people's attention. It'll help keep them engaged. It'll get them to convert, or at least get them to the call to action that you want them to take. So you may have heard of this formula. Are you ready for this, Frazer?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I've kind of tweaked it a little bit, and I can't take full credit for how it's being tweaked. I'll give due credit to that person here in a second. But the original formula was just the PAS formula, and PAS stands for problem, agitate, solution. Well, I use a different version of that. I use the PAES formula. So PAES, problem, agitate, empathize, solution. All right. And the E in there, the empathize part, I actually learned I picked it up from a guy named Russ Hannaberry, who at the time was working with Digital Marketer. And I just learned this from him from one of the many courses or tutorials I bought through those guys. And he's the one that at least turned me on to the idea of adding the E, the empathize, into that formula. So let's just kind of go through this step by step. Does that sound good, Frazer? Would you like me to do that for you and your audience? Okay. So let's start with the P, problem. You want to just simply introduce the problem right away, right? So in essence, you're calling out to your audience. Now, you've probably seen this a lot when you see maybe commercials on TV. It's like, do you owe the IRS, over $50,000 in, back taxes, right? Some people are going to be like, yes, I do, right? And so immediately they know this commercial is for them, right? Now, for all the people who don't owe the IRS any money at all, or don't owe like close to $50,000 in back taxes, they hear that call out and they're like, nope, not for me. And they tune out. And that's okay. Right. Part of what we want to do is we're trying to repel the wrong people and attract the right people. So the worst thing that you can do, Frazer, or anyone in your audience can do, is think that they're trying to write for everyone. You're not. You're trying to write for your avatar. Right? You're not trying to write for everyone. You're trying to write just for your avatar. You're not even trying to write for yourself, right? This isn't a journal or a diary or creative writing or some kind of free form. Let me just share my thoughts type thing. No, this is conversion copywriting, direct response copy designed to get people, in this case on social media, to convert, right? So you got to write for one person, write for your avatar. That's it. So you introduce the problem. Now that problem might be something like, you can phrase it in a question, right? Are you struggling to generate leads online? Are you struggling to enroll as many people into your business as you would like? You could, start the problem off just by stating, hey, building your network marketing business can be tricky, right? What about
something like tired of hearing, is it one of those pyramid things? Is that a sort of problem? Like, yeah, I like that.
Right. So, and oftentimes I'll just start the problem off by a statement, and just like what I just said, building your business online can be tough, right? Building a network marketing business on social media, is not nearly as easy as what you might have been told.
One of the ones that I remember using, years ago was, I said no to network marketing for 4 years. Here's why. Would that fit into the formula?
It would really depend how the rest of it went.
Right. I had the fear of rejection. I had the fear of success. I had the fear of failure. I had the fear of public speaking. And then I think it went something like, does this sound like you, or does this relate to something like that? So it wasn't necessarily a sentence. It was quite a chunk, but it was kind of talking about my problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So there's different ways you can tackle this. There's not necessarily one and only one way that it has to be from a structural standpoint, but as long as you're following the formula to some degree, the PAES, you should be good. So let's dive into then the next one is the agitate. So it's not enough to just introduce the problem, right? You want to introduce the problem, but you could just introduce the problem and some people might think, okay, yeah, but is that really that big of a deal? So that's why we agitate. Here's where you're pouring salt in the wounds. You want to really convey that, okay, not only does the problem exist, as I just mentioned in the first sentence to you, but that here in this agitate component, that if you don't fix this problem, you're doomed. In essence, right? So that's where the agitate comes in. It's basically making it even worse, really pouring it on. So not only can this be tricky, but if you're not able to solve this problem, then you very well might not even have a business anymore. Like that kind of a thing. I'll share some examples in another component here, another section for your audience. So then we'll move into the E, right? And empathy, empathize. And here's where you want to do just that. You want to empathize with the person. So the goal here is you don't want to come across as a know-it-all. Right? You don't want to come across as like the person in the ivory tower and all the people that you're talking to are like the little peasants down below that you're gonna throw them a little bone here to help them out, and then you'll go back in your ivory tower again. You want to make them feel like you feel their pain, you understand, right? You've either been there yourself or you get it, right? So there are definitely some empathy statements that you can use, and a couple examples are kind of like what you said earlier, Frazer. So if this sounds familiar, I understand how you feel, or I get where you're coming from. You're not alone. If this sounds familiar at all, I completely understand because almost all of my students felt the exact same way when they came to me. Right? That's a great empathy statement. If this sounds at all like you're not alone. Just about 97% of all networkers have experienced the same thing at one point or another. Right? That's an empathy statement.
I really like "you're not alone." Something so simple. I mean, my football team's motto is "you'll never walk alone," and it's kind of funny because the club is known for being very, very, very close. Everyone has each other's back, because we all know we're in the same boat. You'll never walk alone. Maybe a different kind of empathy statement, but you never feel on your own when you're watching the game with fellow fans. It's kind of an interesting. Yeah, I like that one. I've got a star in my notes next to that one, mate.
So yeah, that's the empathy statement. So we've stated the problem, we've agitated the problem, we've added in an empathy statement to let them know that we actually get where they're coming from. We understand how they feel and why they're feeling this way. And then lastly, and most simply, it's then just presenting the solution. Right. So, here's the problem. Here I'm agitated now. It's really, really bad. You got to fix it. We go into the empathy statement, which is, I understand you feel this way. Because if you're anything like most people, they felt the same way too. Segue into the solution, which is why I created my brand new, problem, agitate, empathize, solution workshop coming this Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Or whatever it might be, right? So you just segue then into the solution, which is why, which brings me to this. Here's an upcoming thing I've got. Boom. You just present the solution and provide a strong, a link, strong call to action for them to presumably click on a link or click the learn more button or whatever, strategy you're taking to actually get them to the next page.
I love that.
So that, Frazer, is, in my mind, again, because I don't want to sit here and tell your audience like, okay, well, first I recommend you buying these 7 books, and read all these. Then I want you to go through, this course and become certified. And then, we're talking like 8 months later, you can finally like feel good about writing stuff on social media. Like, no, I want your audience to be able to like literally right now walk away from this and be like, okay, I have a structure that I can use today in my business. It's going to help me write better posts and get more conversions, whatever you're trying to accomplish. So the PAES: problem, agitate, empathize, present the solution. Great formula.
So as an exercise for the people listening in now, do you recommend them writing a list of all the products that they promote and obviously the opportunity, and then maybe going through the PAES as like a grid, right? So product 1, product 2, product 3, product 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, business. What are the problems that people could have that product can help them with? How do you kind of rub salt in the wound to make that problem stick out to the people who've got that problem? Then how you can pivot to give the solution. I'm just thinking of like, a lot of people want like business posts, product posts, but they really need to know what problems people would have that want to use that product and how that can give the solution. So is that an exercise that people could do themselves?
Yes. And if it were me, because, going to your company's site and pulling up all the products that your company offers or that, you offer, that's the easy part. That's just a couple of minutes. That's a little copy and paste, action that can be done, lickety split. That's the easy stuff. Where you should spend a little bit more time, a little bit more brain power on is writing down a list of the problems, right? Mm-hmm. So really focusing, don't focus so much on your product because that's easy. Focus more on the customer avatar, your ideal customer, whomever that might be. Right. And really spend time, effort, and energy thinking on, okay, what are their problems? What are they struggling with? What keeps them up at night? What do they wish they had more support with? And focus on those. And so really brainstorm out some of these problems, because you could have several different problems that an avatar might have. And you could have several different of these PAES posts that all lead to one solution. Mm. Right? Maybe you're just tackling a different problem, right? Because there could possibly be 3 or 4 or 5 or 7 or 10 different problems that a person might be dealing with where the product is the solution, right? So I would focus more effort on trying to come up with different problems that could possibly be out there that they might have realistically. And then PAES post number 1 could be problem number 1, and that leads to product number 1. Well, PAES post that you did number 2 could be that second problem. You create a post for that, but that's still leading to product number 1, right? Because product number 1 might solve several different pains. So I would tackle it that way.
And you know what, guys, as we wrap up this, think about how you could do an Instagram story version of this as well. First story, problem. Second story, agitate. Third story, empathize. Fourth story, solution. It's a great way. This framework works so well. Bill, I appreciate it. And yeah, we're going to go into the examples now. All right, so Bill is an absolute beast. Bill the Beast? That could stick. Maybe not. But I've learned so much from him on writing content. And here's the thing, guys. Every single time you write a post, whether it's a title of a live, a caption of a TikTok, a caption of an Instagram reel, the written post on your stories, a written post on an actual newsfeed post you do on Instagram or Facebook, the better your content the better the copywriting is, the better the content's going to do. Because if you can hook people in with what you say and then follow it up with what you actually do and could continue to say, you're going to get a lot more of engagement and therefore reach and more sales and leads and all that fun stuff. So that was really great. In the behind the scenes interview that I do for the All Access Pass members, we discuss the one word you should never ever use and why. I used to use it a lot, and now I never ever mention it because of Bill. And then examples of what have worked well. So he actually breaks down some of the ads that he's worked for me and shares why they work well and why they don't. And one thing when it comes to bullet points, if you ever use bullet points, so like part 1, part 2, part 3, or tip 1, tip 2, tip 3, not tip 4, then he shares what you should be doing, a 3-part process with that, which is awesome. Okay, so again, if you haven't got your All Access Pass, which includes the lifetime recordings of this entire summit, plus the behind the scenes interviews that I do with all the speakers individually, plus the new social media bootcamp that I've recorded and it's done in this studio, which is epic, then go to FrazerBrookes.com/all-access-pass or click a button somewhere around this and you'll be able to access that. All right, let's do it. Let's carry on. So next speaker is someone who is also known as TikTok Tom. His name's Tom Challan. He's a guy in his, he looks like he's in his 30s, 40s. I'm going to say he's in early 50s. You'll probably hate me for that, but he might be late, let's say late 40s, right? But he's an incredible guy who has recently hit over 700,000 followers on TikTok. And he's someone who learned social media. He's been around the industry for 20 plus years, being the top of many different companies, absolutely crushing it. His organization now is doing in between $3 and $4 million a month in sales right now, mainly from social media. And I asked him, I said, like, Tom, obviously I'm interviewing all these people on content or conversion strategies. Like, what would you do? Do you want to talk about TikTok? He said, I could, but I'd rather talk about the kind of the mindset behind it, because he told me that he went out there and looked how to build a business on social media and found all the tactics, all the logistics, all of that fun stuff, but he never did it. And I guess there's a lot of you out there who feel like you know it all, you're learning it all, but you're not doing it all. And he shares what he found out and what was able for him to be able to go and crush it on social media, especially on TikTok, and now build this absolute empire of a network marketing business. Let's play the interview with Tom Challan. All right, Tom, so how's it going?
I'm blessed and excited to be here with you, brother. Honored, actually honored. When Frazer Brookes, DMs me, I'm like, what?
Well, mate, you are one of the people who I stalk on social media. It's so fun because I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Clubhouse, I'm on Facebook and all that. And when I go on TikTok, it's impossible for me to be on there and not see one of your recent videos. It's impossible. It's impossible. There's not a day that I'm on there where I don't see one of your videos, which is epic. First and foremost, congrats. But there's also not a day that goes by where I don't have the Clubhouse banner drop down and it says like Tom Challan's talking in a room, right? So I see your name or your face every single day. And I think that's a great way to start this conversation, because you and I spoke a little bit just off camera. When I say a little bit, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And we were saying like, hey, what should we talk about? Should we give a TikTok strategy? Should we talk more about Clubhouse, whatever? But you said let's talk about the mindset, psychology behind using social media. And I think no one else is really talking about that. So let's start there. When you were talking to me, what was going through your mind when it came to what do you feel that people need to know in order to start using or keep using or continue to using social media in today's day and age for their network marketing business?
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to give what I believe is the number one strategy, if I could just come right out the gate and do that. But before I do that, Frazer, no, listen, there are a lot of trainers in the social media world and network marketing world. But the one thing that I like about you is no matter where I go on social media, whether it's in the audio rooms at the Clubhouse or Green Room or all the different things that are out there, the podcast, Frazer Brookes, I hear from everybody, is the man with integrity, with strategic knowledge. I mean, you press in and really find out what's working in network marketing. So when you DM me, I'm like a little kid. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait. I'd be honored to be a part of this and just drop some value, because there's one thing that I've learned to do, and that's get the ball moving with social media. But it's taken me a long road, because I learned all the logistics and the operations and the algorithms, and I bought the courses. And it is those courses, especially your course that's very strategic, it's all very important. But the one thing moves the needle the most. It's the same thing with network marketing. And that is just going all in, like making the commitment to not be a speculator. And you just got to go. I know it sounds so simple and everybody's like, yeah, just give me the steps, Tom. Give me really how you built on TikTok to millions of people with your family network. But really, it was just I stopped freaking overthinking about it. I stopped analyzing it. I stopped worrying that I have gray hair and wrinkles now. I stopped worrying that I'm the old fart on social media. I stopped worried about all the cringy comments and the weird extreme hate that we get and all the people that try to find our address and all the weird things that happen. I just went all in because if you're listening to this right now and you've got a message that you got to get out to the world, or you have a product in your network marketing business that you know works, or you have a business that you know can transform someone else's life, it's your obligation to get over your, I'll just say it with love, crap, which means your fear or what are people going to think of me, which is really a form of ego, and just go for it. And I'll just say this and then I'll pause here, is Warren Buffett says it so well. He says, if you have an IQ that's like, let's just say 100%, like you're just a smart person. He said, get rid of about 50+% of it to be a world-class investor. Now, if Warren Buffett says that about investing, what should we think about posting TikToks or Instagram, right? Which means we're supposed to have a lot more fun, which means shut down the analytical or the thinking or wondering and just literally start posting with reckless abandonment of freedom, fun, laughter. Like you literally don't care what people think. And I'm telling you, you'll be able to create content at speed that way.
And so when you're creating content across the platforms, do you have a goal in mind of like, oh, right, okay, before 11 a.m., I want to get that TikTok out. Before I go to bed, I want to make sure that I've done this, this, and this. Or do you just be like, you know what? If I post something, I post something. If I don't post something, I don't post something. Or do you have like, because obviously as well, you're a huge leader. You run a huge organization. And you know as well as anyone is that your team will look at what you're doing and they will do what you're doing. So do you have a plan in mind or a mindset in mind when it comes to amount of content, quality of content and all of that?
Good question. Some people want to work out and get in the best shape of their life and they go to the gym and then they stop going. Some make a commitment to get in the best shape of their life. So the answer is, when you make that commitment that I talk about, there's no turning back. So I just want to know the bottom line of what I think I need to post. So if people say 3 to 5 posts on TikTok, I'll say 1 to 5 posts on TikTok a day minimum. So once you get in a rhythm like working out, you will just do it. It's kind of like food. You don't think about, well, should I eat 2 times a day or 3 times? Sometimes you eat 2, sometimes you might eat 3, sometimes you might eat 4, sometimes you might eat 1. I don't know, but you just do. Does that make sense? So every day I wake up, Frazer, and every day I'm like, okay, today's the day I'm going to really get strategic with my TikToks and Instagram Reels and my Facebook. Every day I think about I am not your strategic guy because I did that for 10 years and I never got out that much content. So for me, I don't like letting things go too long, but I like to eat every day. So I just keep posting and posting and posting. And my content's more on the fly. I'm not the batcher yet. Although with that said, I am getting very strategic. I do have a team now. I do have systems and processes that we are slowly starting to implement for being more strategic.
And it's fun, right? Because you're going to be able to help me with this. I don't think I've ever done this on an event before or anything, but I'm going to tell you guys probably my biggest weakness, which I thought was my biggest strength. And then Tom is going to be able to help smash it out of me. And you're going to see this happening live for you, but we're obviously recording this. So I've grown up in this age of social media where you want to make sure that every post you make is perfect. Yeah. So if you scroll on my Facebook profile, you will see that every single post, 1,000 likes, 2,000 likes, 1,500 likes, 1,000 likes, hundreds of comments, like every single one, bang on, bang on, bang on, bang on. When we moved on to Instagram, same thing. I want to make sure that if people are actually looking at the amount of likes and comments, I want them to be like, wow, 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 not, that hit, rubbish. Hit. So I go on TikTok and I think the exact same thing. And because I suck at the TikTok videos, I've probably done about 20 and I've got 3,000 followers, which on the platforms, 3,000 followers for me is shocking. I look at you and you have smashed TikTok to pieces. You don't care about anything. You just do it. I know you mentioned about stop overthinking and going all in, but because on TikTok you've got a lot of videos and a lot of views, you have a wonderfully, incredibly beautiful family, both inside and out, and you attract a lot of hate. That can hold you back big time. It can hold majority of people back. What would you say has been and it might be what you've already touched on, but what would you say has been your secret that you used and you can pass on to me to stop me from thinking it's got to be the best TikTok ever and people don't really give a crap about the views and stuff on TikTok? They just want to be entertained. Yeah. What would you say? Because you and me were talking about mindset and psychology before, and I'm curious because TikTok and me are not friends. And because of that reason, I just shared, which is my...
Yeah, I literally think that TikTok is meant, and most social platforms, to be honest, not all, is meant for full gas. Like if you really wanted to have fun and free, like what story? Like I'm always looking for stories throughout the day. And the videos that I always think, okay, this is even a little cringy for me because I run a big, we have one of the fastest growing teams in network marketing right now. We're doing over 4 million a month in sales. It's blowing up. So I'm like, what are people going to think of me? And the videos that I'm always worried about posting, I just do, are the ones that do 1 million, 10 million, 20 million in views. So the ones that I think are perfect and that we take the time for are the ones that don't do that well. So
I get it. It's funny you say that because I interviewed Brock Johnson, who's like right, yeah, So he lives similar, like his family lives similar part of the world to where you are based. So he was saying the same thing. He said that he would spend hours doing the Instagram reels, thinking this is going to hit. He posts it and it doesn't hit. And then he does this silly one, and it's like it smashes it, and he's like what?
That dude is a GQ. I mean, the dude's good looking, right? And then here he is. He pops his tooth out. I mean, I wouldn't even do that on TikTok. I'd be too embarrassed to pop a tooth out if I didn't. Did you ever see that?
No, yeah, I'm gonna go look at it though.
Like literally things that are weird about you or uncomfortable or transparent. My daughter has a blind eye. And because of her blind eye, she's one of the most popular creators on TikTok because people make fun of it. And then other people praise her for it. Like, oh, you're beautiful. So yeah, things that are different and weird, people love.
Mm-hmm. So there's people listening to this, watching this. And obviously they've got a lot of content. They've got the content strategies. They've got the script and all that. You work with a huge team. Your team are looking at what you're doing on TikTok and they want to do the same thing because a lot of people see content as the easy way out. Like, oh, if I can just get my content done, like
yes.
I won't have to reach out to people. Like if I could just do like a few TikToks and have 1 million views and I'm going to have like tens of thousands of leads, it means I just don't have to do the belly to belly, the 3-foot rule, the reaching out to strangers. What's your point? Because you've been around the game for a long time, mate. You've been around the game for a long time, being massively successful in a number of companies. So what do you tell your team when it comes to like the whole content creation and reaching out with messages? Yeah.
It's to make it real simple and fast. There's 2 ways to prospect. It's actively, which means you're building the connections and manually building those relationships, or passively, right? Passively is, look, we all want to get to passively where we have a big enough presence where people come to us and we don't have to go to them. But we are still in the duplication business. So I never teach my team short term. You want to actively prospect, which means manually go out there and connect with people that you care about or that you have a relationship with or that you already know through the relationship through Facebook. Our entire team primarily is built on active relationships, but we're building and learning from people like you, Frazer, on the passive attraction marketing, the leverage through social media. It's not going away, but literally, I tell my team less than 20% of your time should be learning and figuring out the lives and the videos and the Instagram and the TikToks. Even my brand, I still teach my team active prospecting primarily.
And are you teaching mainly TikTok, Facebook, Instagram? Is there one that you prefer to share with the team, or is it?
I always teach people to go all in 80% on the up and coming trending platform If you could do what I said, which is don't overthink it and don't be over analytical and do more content on the fly instead of curating it all day, then TikTok. TikTok is better, because then you could take that TikTok and repurpose it. And I know you're a pro at teaching people how to do all that kind of stuff. Just repurpose it over and over and over and over and over. And I mean, I have some videos I posted 20 times, and people don't, it's surprising how few people see your video. You could post things over and over and over if you position it right.
Well, there's also that old saying, isn't it? Don't change the message, change the audience. Like, so if you've got one that works, just repost it on a different platform. And the number of times I go onto the memories section in Facebook and see a post that I did a year ago, 5 years ago. And like, there was one the other day, 10 years ago, which I say on stage every single time is, don't worry about the commission, worry about the mission. If you look at it, and I posted it 10 years ago and I reposted it. And people are like, you posted that 10 years ago. Like, oh my God, I've heard so many people say that. It's kind of crazy. So with that, you're using TikTok. You don't care. You post a video, you post it. Do you concern yourself with the caption, with the cover photo, with the hashtag?
Yeah. I mean, we do things on the fly that are strategic for sure. Like you want to do things that are shocking, like I caught my daughter's boyfriend, or you want to do a little clickbaity, but be truthful. So yes, you want to shock. This is where I don't want to say I'm not a copywriter, but I would pick up a little book on copywriting, learn a tiny bit on shocking headlines. Yes. And shocking thumbnail. Yes. Like I always scroll to like something that's about to happen. And I always put words in there like, I'm about to drop water on my wife's head. Yes. You got a split second to catch someone's attention.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And in part 2, we're going to talk more about that. All right, so Tom Challan is a beast. That was incredible. And again, I pressed pause and we kind of had a conversation, and I had a second interview with Tom for the All Access Pass members of the behind the scenes interviews, where we talked about the simple line that converts like crazy. So one line that he uses that just works like really well for him. And the one thing everyone should be doing on TikTok. And when he told me this one thing that everyone should do on TikTok, I was like, that's such a simple idea, and you could use the same thing on Facebook or on Instagram as you do on TikTok. He said, yeah, but he said people don't do it; they're not doing it enough, and it's just a real great interview. He's real good, and he's really crushing it, which is awesome. All right, now before I go into the next 2 strategies, I wanted to share with you the one tool that I believe every single one of you should be setting up and using right now, and that's something called Linktree. So I'm going to go into my computer here, and I'm going to share with you how this works. So go over onto Google and just type in Linktree. Now, I could give you the website, but it's a really weird one. So see that? It's linkt.ee. So just type it on Google, Linktree, all one word. It should be with mine separated. And go on it. Set up an account. Get started for free. I'm going to log in because I already have an account. Hopefully it's going to work this time, because the other day it didn't work. Sign in. Please work. Please work. Come on. Yes. Right. So this is Linktree. Linktree is basically a link aggregator where you have one link that is going to share many different links, right? So you can see here that I've written down all these different links, right? So free webinar, a Yahoo Finance article that me and the team were mentioned in. We got I Dare You book, I Double Dare You, I Dare You Tracker, Success Summit Online 3, free online masterclass, Frazer's podcast, Frazer's YouTube channel, Frazer's courses, Instagram workshop. Right, that one's off right now, right? And you'll see it when people go to that page, right, which is generated for me, linktree.ee/Frazer Brookes, which I put on the link in my bio on Instagram, Facebook. I can put it anywhere that I want. People can then come and find like different things, like, oh wow, free webinar, I'm in. Oh wow, his book is double. So instead of me saying, hey, here's the link to my book, here's the link to my other book, here's the link to my tracker, here's the link to my courses, here's the link to my podcast, here's the link to my YouTube, here's the link to a webinar, here's the link to this and that, it's just too much. It's just too much. So having one place where people can go, I like this guy. What do they have to offer? click, oh wow, cool, I'm going to check this out. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing that you should all be paying very, very close attention to, in my opinion. The first thing on there should be something free and something that shares credibility. So I'm fortunate enough that there's been a Yahoo Finance article written about me and my team, my growing team, which is I'm super excited about. So people can go, whoa, there's an article on Yahoo Finance. That's pretty cool. I've got a free webinar with a friend, right? A free webinar. So people go, oh, there's something for free. I'm going to go learn. And then we've got the paid thing. So if I was you, this is what I would do. I would have like a free Facebook Live or Instagram TV that you've done, where you're going to be, it's like one of your best ones where people can go watch it and be like, whoa, I love your energy. I love your point of view. I love your value. I love your emotion, your education, your entertainment. I love all that. Then when they come back, they might want to check out more. So now you can be like, learn how I can help you. And it links to a Facebook group, or it links to an Instagram reel, or it links to an Instagram TV where you share maybe 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, the magic number I found, 7 minutes of what you actually do with your products or your opportunity, right? Separate video for product and opportunity, in my opinion, okay? And then you can link to your different, like, you know, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube, follow me, join my free mailing list, right? So everyone should go and create this. Everyone should have a link tree. Everyone should go and then put that link in their bio. And then when they're going live, they can mention it. Hey, click the link tree link in my bio. Hey, click the link down below. And the link can just be link tree. So you're always directing people to one place. All right. Just wanted to mention that before we kind of move on here. Okay. So let's move on to our third strategy for today. And I think our 13th strategy of this entire thing, which is kind of crazy, 13th, 14th. And I want to introduce you to Inner Circle members, Challan and Andy Thomas, based over in the UK, not far from where my family home is. And we were recently on an Inner Circle call, and someone had mentioned about doing VIP sales, or what we call secret sales. I like to call them secret sales on WhatsApp. Now, in the Inner Circle, I share a lot about WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp is the hidden gem of an app. I think, obviously, for those of you who don't use WhatsApp, you might use Telegram. But WhatsApp and Telegram are just incredible. Network marketing is a communication-based business. You communicate with people to make a sale, and you communicate with the team to make more sales. Right? It's all it is. And if in the word communicate, the word communication is community. The word community is the word communication and unity. And that's a lot of people say. You got to build your culture. You got to build a strong community. Well, if you can create the unity by getting people to learn on the same page, learn from the same page, and then you can communicate well, you're going to build a great community and you're going to win. So we were talking about WhatsApp, and Challan and Andy say, hey, we use this great strategy on how we're able to get a lot of sales in a short period of time using WhatsApp. So I go on the phone with them and I hit record, and I want to share with you I want them to share with you in the interview how they're able to leverage these secret sales or VIP sales or in WhatsApp groups for them to be able to generate a large number of sales in their business. Let's play the interview. All right, guys, how you doing?
Hey, really good, Frazer.
Very good, Frazer. Amazing. So, guys, I'm so excited to have you on here. Obviously, you are two incredible people. A lot of love for you guys. And recently, we had a call with a bunch of other people on, and you had been sharing. I mentioned something that had come across my desk, and you'd mentioned that you'd been implementing what some people call like a secret sale in like messenger groups, like group chats and stuff. What do you call them, and how do they work for you?
Okay, so we call them VIP events. And one thing we've found is people don't want to be on Zoom. Everyone's zoomed out. So these are perfect. They are short, snappy, to the point, and people feel really, really special that we're inviting them to a VIP event. So we just do individual messages to new people and our existing clients, saying we're super excited. We've got a VIP event that we would love to invite you to. It's happening on whatever date at whatever time. And we can do it either on WhatsApp or a messenger group. We tend to do it. So, sorry, go on.
No. So I make notes on everything. Like, I pretty much transcribe when I speak with someone. I'm always like, blah, 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 blah. It's just I don't know, it's like a healthy addiction of mine. So it's called a VIP event. Obviously, people can call them whatever they want. Some of the guys call them like a secret sale. The idea is for you to create that exclusivity, right? So VIP group, people want to be on the VIP list. Secret sale, people want to know what the secret is. So you are going, let's just say it's you right now, and you want to have a VIP event on the 10th of July, on the 3rd of August, whatever. Yeah. You're going into your contact list, new people who you find I've messaged, for example, or new people you've come across, or people who are already on your friends list, and then you invite them to this certain event on a certain date.
Yeah.
So I think my first question is, how far ahead of the date do you start inviting?
Only about 2 days. It's really short and snappy.
So just like 2 days before. And what would the invitation look like? Well, how would that... Do you have a script? Do you just kind of like, people just kind of intuitively message people? Like, what would
voice note is the best.
Voice note.
Get your excitement. So it is all in the voice of the excitement, and sharing that it's an exclusive event that you are invited to.
Yeah, also as well, we put like posters up in our groups as well, like our groups of friends and et cetera, and also then just basically go through a list of that and just voice note them out as well, just with high energy, get the excitement, get the exclusivity going.
So it would be something like, hey Bob, I've got this really exclusive VIP event happening. I really want you to be a part of it. Can I count on you? Would you like to have one of the tickets? So it's all done on like a messenger chat, or like, obviously you guys use and recommend WhatsApp, right?
Yeah. And
so,
we put on there that it's an exclusive event that you're invited to. There's going to be prize draws in there so that you can get to win prizes.
Little quiz.
It's going to be fun. You can do it from the comfort of your own home, on your sofa. Do not worry, because it's just messages into a WhatsApp group, so you can catch up at them at a later that evening, and it will run for 48 hours. It will be there. It only actually runs an hour, but they can catch up and place orders for 48 hours.
Nice. So there's urgency and scarcity there. I like it. And after the 48 hours, obviously we'll come to how it works and stuff, but after the 48 hours, do you remove everyone? Yeah,
so we close it with, if you want to continue to have special offers, we put a link to our Facebook group, our products page, and then we say, or you might even be wanting to earn some extra money, and if you want to find out more about the business opportunity, we can add you into a business opportunity Facebook page as well. So we're getting that we're not just closing it and losing that content. We're directing them into what group it is that they want to be in. And we also say as well, if you've got any friends that you want to be included and they'd like some VIP special offers and the chance to win some prizes, you can add them in.
And do many people do that? Have you found that people add their friends in as well?
Yeah. What you tend to find is when we do the introduction, so when the group is open and starting, we say then as well, you don't want your friends to miss out, feel free to add them in and you could get some spot prizes.
Love that. That's so cool. So then I love it. I love things like this, because anyone can do this in any country. Even if you go to like the African markets, they can't do Zoom calls because the data packages just aren't strong enough, or they're just too expensive. So we used to do a lot of WhatsApp presentations, which is so similar to this. which I love because they just work so much. All right, so you've invited 30 people. All right, you've invited 30 people in kind of 2 days, high energy, a lot of exclusivity. It's all they know it's all going to be on kind of like a messenger group. It's on WhatsApp. So they give you their number. Like, yeah, count me in. You ask for their number. Has there been any resistance with people saying like, no, I'm not going to give you my number. Like, I don't give my number up.
Yeah, you get your normal ignores and things like that, but you just move on. It's them that's missing out.
It's a classic case of them just wasting your time, and But now, hey, at least you then know they're a suspect and not a prospect. So, what then happens on the day? Let's say it's 8 p.m. UK time, 3rd of August. You've got 30 people's numbers. Is it in a group? Is it like a group chat so everyone can see everyone's like responses?
Yeah. So the group is formed. I usually start to form that morning. Mm-hmm. And then like 4 hours before it's due to start, I'll just put super excited for seeing you later. Mm-hmm. Make sure to get a drink and just sit back and relax and let the fun begin. Mm-hmm.
And that's it. So you kind of, and you set it up in the morning. So like it starts at 8 p.m, but at 4 p.m, you're just kind of putting that is it a text message? Is it a video message? Is it like an audio message?
So that first one is a text message, but then as 10 minutes before it starts, I put a video in there. It's just a 1 minute video explaining one really short, brief thing about what our company is, like 10 seconds of it, just so they know what the products are. It's 1 minute 9, actually. I've just looked at a video that I've done. And just explaining what's going to happen. And what you tend to find is when you do that video, you'll have a bit of interaction from people. But then so like, for example, I've put, let's talk skin. Who wants fresh, clear, flawless, beautiful skin? What don't you like about your skin? And then some people comment and some people won't. Mm-hmm. And then we'll drop in like pictures of the products, what their savings are on the products. Mm-hmm. But what we do is we do a quiz really early on, because then that gets people interacting. Because if they know they're going to win something, they start interacting quite fast.
Right.
And once you've got that interaction, then you can go in more to the products and then do another little quiz. We normally do like just 4 quiz questions throughout it.
So the sort of engagement for them to win a prize, what is it? Is it the quiz? Is it linked to the quizzes, or is it like, right? So you would say like you would ask very, very simple questions, right? Or
you like, pick like 4 anything like any Disney characters and stuff like that, or who won the 96 World Cup, 1966 World Cup, or do you know what I mean? Just simple questions like that. Yeah. Obviously, we don't know the answer to that, but
so that,
it does get this sort of engagement up. Fraser, really does.
So obviously, they're at this stage, they could have their phone going ping, 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 which is great as well, right? Because it's reminding them like, oh yeah, well, I did approve to go into that group and blah, 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 blah. Have you ever had any, so you post a 1 minute 9 video. Are you mentioning the name of the company? Are you mentioning the name of the products? Are you mentioning like what it does before you've actually, right, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Because the introduction that we do is just saying what's not in the products and talking about the 90-day money-back guarantee, so they know they can buy in confidence, and then what to expect.
Okay. And when people see that video, has anyone ever been like, oh, can't believe it's blank? No one cares?
No.
No one wants to look a knob in front of other people. Right? And I think that's one of the greatest things about this, which is not really talked about not enough, is behind the scenes, like, and when you're protected by like a fake profile on social media, people don't mind looking like a hater because they got some sort of attention. When when it's your number, it's your phone number, it's in a group, some people you know, some people you don't. No one wants to stand out and look like the idiot. So this is really good. And I think a lot of people are worried about looking like an idiot and they don't do it because they're worried about looking like an idiot. And you're just basically saying here that, nah, no one's like hating on you. So 8 o'clock comes, it's just about to start. What's next?
So dropping in that video. So that video's done as a welcome. Mm-hmm. And then we then go into the product. So asking them questions as to like what obviously we're health and wellness. Depends on I do it themes. So like one will be healthy living from the inside out. So that one's a good one that we get to speak about nutrition, skincare and everything. Sometimes if it's a new product release, then it's just new products. There is one as well for onboarding consultants as well. So you can do a WhatsApp party for anything.
Mm-hmm. I love it. So because you've kind of, before it actually starts, you've done this kind of quiz and the engagement's upbeat. So you're kind of seeding them and letting them know, like, I ask a question, you respond. I ask another question, you respond. So instead of it being like a bunch of scripts, like you just copying and pasting, like script, it's more interactive and more tailor-made to what your outcome might be. So if let's just say you have a shake, right? You've got a banana flavored shake. Let's just say, for example, I could have gone with any fruit, but I went with banana. You got a banana flavored shake, and that was your goal. I want to sell 10 of these boxes of banana flavored shakes. You would ask questions to begin with. Okay, guys, like it could be something like on a scale of 1 to 10. Like, how happy are you with your current, weight loss goal? 1 being nah, 10 being yeah, right? Yeah. Those are sort of questions that you would ask.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, like, if it was focusing on gut health, so Shake's gut health.
Yeah.
How do you feel when your alarm goes off in the morning? Are you hitting that snooze button, or are you full of energy?
Right.
Do you suffer with any bloatingness? Do you have any headaches? If you've answered yes to one or more of those, you need to
do this, right? So when it says you need to like is the name of the product. Like, you need to be using and because for me that's like, you need to be using like product. Let's say product X, because if I keep saying I'm gonna forget what I'm gonna say in a minute. So you need to be using product X. What then usually happens in the chat, because it's not everyone needs it necessarily, because obviously
no. So you'll have people that will say, like, for example, do you hit snooze? Yep, that's me.
Yeah.
So they're interacting because they're used to interacting. So then when we say this is what you need, we put like what the price normally is, what the saving is, and what you can have it at this event.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's so cool. Sorry, I'm making notes on flipping everything. All right. So then how many people, let's say you get 20 people on, roughly of the 20 people, how many of them would you say would make a decision and buy something?
Say 15.
Whoa.
It's a really high uptake.
Wow. And how many do you usually do?
Personally, or across the team?
Let's say across the team.
I'd say across the team on a monthly basis, around 20. Because it's really good when, say, for example, you get a new team member. We'll do an online event, or we can do in person now in the garden.
Come on.
But then it's good to do those with new people as well, because it's such a wider reach. And those people that don't want to commit to jumping on Zoom or going to somebody's garden, they're quite happy to be put into a message group.
Yeah. Also, as well, millennials love this concept.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. And obviously, you know, for the people that are not so good on social media or, you know, WhatsApps or whatever, because everything's done for you, it's just such a simple process to duplicate, isn't it?
Yeah, really easy duplicable.
I think one thing I like about it is that you could be on the phone to your upline, and the upline be in the flipping group, but you could be on the phone to your upline or chatting with your upline on the side, and they could be guiding you through what to say whilst you're doing it, instead of, I don't know what to say now, because again, like, I mean, I would say I'm a millennial, but I'm quite an old-fashioned millennial. I was in that kind of era where I had my first phone when I was 13, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, you got a phone!" Like, so I was just like kind of like an in-between millennial, but I was kind of old school millennial. And I'm that person who, if my phone rings, there's no freaking way I'm answering it. There's no way. Even if it's my mum, it sounds bad. Mum, I love you. You know that. But when I don't answer the phone to you, a lot of the times it's because I'm just going to text you straight after saying, "Mum, are you okay?" Okay, if my mum calls me, it's a little bit different. If my dad calls me, I'll put it down. I'm like, "Dad, yeah, I'm in a meeting, whatever," right? That's just facts. So it's not really the truth. I'm just joking. So, all right, so 75%, it's super duplicatable, super easy for people to do. I'm trying to think of the bad side. Like, I'm trying to think of the bad side of, like, why wouldn't someone do this?
In all honesty, there is not a bad side, because it is an hour of your time. When we were first starting them, what we were doing was we were getting all the team on Zoom, and we'd all be in our own little WhatsApp group, the team, and I'd just be pinging the messages into that group. They copy and paste into there. So it's just there, really, really duplicable. And it's nice because it brought like a bit of a bond together in the early stages of us doing it. And we have moles in the groups as well. We will have team members in there absolutely hyping it all up and stuff, which really works well. But it is so easy. A few weeks ago, I wasn't feeling great, but I had a WhatsApp event. I was lying in bed doing it. That was how easy it was. And Andy walked in. This will make you laugh, Frazer. You can take bits out of this, can't you? Andy walked in, and I was absolutely howling. And he goes, "What are you laughing at?" But I was concentrating because I was actually doing two groups at the same time, so I had to like be really focused. I said, "You're not going to believe what somebody's just said, Andy." And she said, "Oh yeah, the eye cream works really well on my nipples as well." I read it out loud to him. He was wetting himself. I was just like, "Can you just go? I've got to concentrate." I could hear him howling.
That's funny.
Brilliant. You know what? I absolutely love it. Here's the thing. What I'm thinking of. First and foremost, people watching this, ask yourself the question, how many times have you had 10 to 20 people on the same Zoom call, right? When you're launching, like 10 to 20 prospects on the same Zoom call. It's hard to get 10 to 20 people on a Zoom call. It really, really, really is. The second thing is, when have you ever had a 75% conversion rate of people who attend the Zoom and then join? It doesn't happen. It just does not happen. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for this kind of first part. I can't wait to go deeper on some of the questions that I have. And I just really appreciate that you're taking action on this and prepared to share it with other people.
No problem.
Cheers, Frazer.
All right, we're back. So, hey, that was awesome. Challan and Andy, great people, super down to earth, super humble, and making great things happen in their network marketing business as well. So, obviously in the second interview, the all access pass behind the scenes interview, I cover with them what messages work best when you're obviously doing the actual like secret sale itself, like what questions are best to ask, how to leverage that process to crush the end of the month as well. Obviously, it's a great idea, but like, what about the end of the month? Could you leverage that? If so, when's best? And what to do with the people who don't make a decision on the party? So they'll say, and they said that out of 20 people, 15 people would make a decision to buy a product or join the business. 15 out of 20, that's 75%. That's nuts. Nuts. And they say, like, obviously with the people who don't make a decision right there, right then, what to do with those people to have a good chance of closing them out. So if you haven't already done so, be sure to get your all action pass to get the lifetime access to the recordings of this Content and Conversion Summit, to get also the behind the scenes interviews that I do with all 16 speakers on their strategies and some little extra different stuff that we discuss. And then also included is my new social media boot camp as well, where I cover social media setup on Instagram and Facebook, lead generation tactics, obviously scripts that work and convert, and also how to create your own content calendar and content funnel with the content you're learning here, as well as a load more other different tips and tricks as well. All right, let's move on to and again, guys, the link is frazerbrookes.com/all-access-pass. And I really, really, really hope that you've had enough value from this free summit for you to go, you know what, like, it'd be silly for me not to do that. All right, I love you either way, but I really appreciate those who trust enough in me and appreciate enough my time to be able to make an investment in themselves, which is going to obviously pay off big time in the coming weeks, months, and years to come in your business. Last strategy session for today is from an Inner Circle member again. Her name is Melissa Brooks. I obviously have a little bit of bias over her, first of all, because she's awesome, but she says she shares the same second name as me, and we're not related in, like, that we know of. We probably are ancestrally. Is that a word? Ancestrally? It is now. But yeah, she's incredible. Top leader, one of the top income earners in her network marketing company. Really, really, really fast growing organization. Does well over $1 million plus in sales every single month in her business. And she basically, again, I asked her, I said, like, what content or conversion strategies do you use? She said, well, I have some scripts, but one thing that worked really, really well for us in the beginning and still does today is curiosity posts that we make when we join or when we want to launch or relaunch our business. And I was like, interesting. So I had a call with her. She talked to me about it. I was like, whoa, we have to hit record because this is flipping gold. So I can't wait for Melissa Brooks to share with you the strategy of using curiosity posts to launch. All right, Melissa, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am doing amazing. Obviously, I like to call you Brooksy because we share the same. The name sounds the same, but obviously I have an ES, you have just a solid S. I kind of sometimes wish I just had the like spell it how you spell it, because I get so many people misspell mine because they don't throw the E in.
Well, your E's for extra, remember?
Come on, I remember that. Hey, you're the one looking extra with rocking the blazer and the outfit and the earrings and everything looking good. The hair's looking good as well.
Yeah, thank God.
Anyway, I appreciate you. So you and I we were chatting back and forth a little bit, and I was saying, I asked you, like, what's a content or conversion strategy that you're using in your business right now that's working? And you mentioned curiosity posts. So I would love for you to share with me how you and the team are using certain pieces of content in order to get more leads, more sales, and more people joining their team.
So it all started when I came, I was out of the industry for like 2 years, but when I came back from the industry and I had joined a company, and I was nervous because that credibility wasn't there. And this curiosity, launching with curiosity, became a system like 2 years ago. And it's been amazing for anyone. So a lot of my leaders, when they joined, had the same situation. They either came from somewhere else or they just wanted to, get out there and we were doing it out of being scared. And that's how it started, this genius idea. So a lot of people get really excited, right? When they join a company, they're launching, and they start word vomiting all over their Facebook. I know, Frazer, you teach on this a lot. Don't share the company name unless it's necessary. And so that's kind of how it came about. And whenever we launch with curiosity, it's simply just making people, human nature, get curious. People are curious. People are nosy. So instead of me saying, hey, I joined XYZ company, I'm so excited. Here's the startup. Here's the details of the kit, blah, blah, blah. I'm so excited. No one cares. And that's the truth about it. I was like, what better way than to launch with curiosity to make them want to know? So we started it. You can do it different ways. You could have a group setting with it. You could have, it just depends. But I want you to remember, as long as you are growing a group, you need to be intentionally growing it, where it's not going to work if you have like 5 people and you're posting. So keep that in mind. But that was one of the ways. So when you put the post out, it's like, hey, some really big things changed in my life recently. And one girl on my team, one of my leaders, she would say, and no, I'm not pregnant. Ha ha ha. Like, puts that humor in there. And people are like curious. Well, what is it? I'm going to be going live at this time, at this place, to share my secret. If you want to know more, if you want to be on that, comment something below and like to do something engaging. So what we found was some of these people that had networks, within a minute, there were 5 people commenting. The algorithm was busting. Like, it was insane. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it became exciting. So anytime we launch someone, we make sure we want to launch them with that excitement, because what happens is when you have 500 comments on your post of people that just want to know, versus whether you would have had 5 comments on your post and no one would have seen it, you start replying. We would reply to each person. And guess what? We were getting Facebook freeze on our post because so many people were flooding it. And so what we changed that to is using that list of people, anyone who liked it, anyone who commented on it, to write it down. And this is, my team always laughs at me because I reference Blue's Clues, my handy dandy notebook. This thing I have them everywhere. And as a matter of fact, I have 3 right next to me. And my earring just fell. Bear with me. I'm as real as it gets. But anyways, we'll continue without it. So what happens is every single person that you have on that post, you write them down in your notebook as a prospect, a lead, whatever you want to call it. And you message them. You message them right then and there, and you start that engaging conversation, and you say, I'm going to personally invite you, whether it's a Zoom, you're going live. I like how there's options now where you can stream your Zooms and have it on your Facebook wall as well as the people you personally invited. You could do it so many ways, but the key is taking that launching post to catapult you a lot faster than most people. So that's kind of how we do it every single time. It's actually one of our secret systems. I don't mind sharing it because I always believe things come back. And so it has changed. I remember I recruited, I think, in a matter of 5 days from that post, like 50 people. Whoa. It was insane. And then every single person that did it, now granted, I did have a network from building my pipeline and my network for like the last 10 years. So it all came back though, if that makes sense. So don't get discouraged if you do this and you get a lead is a lead. If you get 1, 2, 5 people on a Zoom call, Frazer can tell you that's a win. So that's kind of the big part about it.
No, but I love this. And guys, for those of you who haven't already identified it, Mel is like one of the most realist people you'll ever see. And if you follow her on social media, especially on Facebook, she's like super real, raw, authentic, just living her best life and just kind of being herself, which is so she's a great person to follow if you want inspiration on that as well. So some questions. So you do this mainly on Facebook, or you recommend it doing it on Facebook and Instagram?
Well, that's the cool thing is it can be done wherever. And it just started from Facebook. And I'm going to be honest, I'm just now getting into the Instagram since I've been in your inner circle. It's been like my goal. But it started with Facebook. But this is something you could grow and branch out huge, in my opinion. You could run it different ways. Just get creative with it.
So it's the curiosity post is usually just a static post, just like a photo of themselves. Is it like a selfie? Is it like one of these? Is it one of those? Is it like anything added with the photo itself?
So a picture needs to be added, and we always recommend. And you mentioned that I'm real, like I am, and I've always trained that way. Like my earring fell out. Let's keep moving. It's fine. If my hair situation we talked about, like it's fine. And I lead with that, and I let my team know it's okay to do that. People respect that more. So when you take that picture, it may be your personality. Let it shine. It could be a goofy, fun, curious selfie. It could be a picture with you and your kids, you and your dog. Just make sure it's you, and be vulnerable through that post. Use it kind of like a diary post. Let your network know that you're scared, you're excited. It's something big, and put some humor in there. So people,
yeah. No, sorry. Keep going.
No, people respect that. I think more when you're just vulnerable. I'm going to drink some water too. I'm glad that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine as long as it's water, right? So like one thing, I kind of interrupt people sometimes because my brain starts going and I'm like, oh, that's good. So what's coming to my mind is, because I know an algorithm hack that not many know, and I learned it from one of the best marketers that I've known. I can't actually technically mention his name for different reasons. I can't go into that too much, but he told me something. So I'm gonna help some of you guys listening and watching this in. So what I would do, just following exactly what you're saying, if I'm getting this right, is I would get a photo, whether it's you and your dog, you, your husband, your dog, you, your husband, your kid, you, your husband, your kid, the dog, you, your husband, the kid, the other kid, the other kid, the other kid, and the dog or the cat. I would get them in a cool photo, do a selfie, but all be like, so everyone's like, so it's a scroll stopper, right? Because that's one of the things we got to do is interruption marketing. But what you said earlier, and I hope people wrote it down, was we've got, as a family, we've got something huge to share. And no, I'm not pregnant, right? Which is gold. I would get them. I would actually have, and this is the algorithm hack, comment congrats or comment congratulations below to be the first to know. Right? Yes. Which kind of rams. Here's the algorithm hack. There are certain words on Facebook which rank a post so high. Happy birthday. You've got this. And congrats. Congrats is the biggest one. If you type in on a comment, congratulations on Facebook, it will even probably come up with like a woo, like a, fireworks or whatever. And if you do it the same on Instagram, it ranks it high. Now, when they see congrats, the algorithm's going to go congrats, pregnant, families like, people, it's just going to go right to the top, and you will probably see the number of comments you get double, triple, quadruple, and all the fun stuff. So use that. So people make this, but I love this. How much should they write? Like, is there like a step 1, step 2, step 3 when it comes to how much they should write? Or is it just being vulnerable, authentic, real, whatever's on your heart?
In my opinion, and we've seen different leaders with longer ones. I am a squirrel. Like we're both kind of that way all over the place. I interrupt a lot too when I get excited or my brain can't function or process. So I cannot sit and read a novel.
Yeah.
So for me, I say meet them in the middle. There might be people who like to read. There might be people who don't. Short, sweet, but to the point, and get your point across.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. And it's true, right? Because, and if you just do like one line, like I've got something to share at 9 p.m., see you there. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, really? I mean, that's not going to get ranked very high as well on the algorithm. So like exactly what you said, like was gold. All right. So, and this is brilliant, by the way. I really love this sort. Let
me tell you something funny. Uh-huh. When I did my, it was so scary because this was before it was a system. When I did my first Curiosity launch post, before it was a thing, I remember, and it's actually my anniversary of that launch, I think, is today.
No, go on.
How weird is that? I have to go back and look because I'm pretty sure it is 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And the funny thing about that, things happen for a reason. It's so funny. So yeah. So when I did it, either it's today or tomorrow, it's something like that. It's just crazy because when I went live, I came from a company that I had 6 people on my team.
Right.
So I did not expect like 100 and something people to be watching me in that private Zoom or group at one time, and I couldn't keep up. I remember my husband came home and the next day, and I'm sitting on the couch crying because I could not keep up with the messages.
Right.
And I said, this is something. So we made it into the launching with curiosity, because I feel like when you start and you launch excited and you get the startups, the customers, your confidence builds and it gets bigger and bigger. So that's why I think the launch is super important.
Oh, totally. And what's happened to your business since you did that? You did that launch call. That launch.
We duplicated it, and right now we do anywhere from 3.5 to 5.5 million in retail sales as a team. I know there's over 20,000 of us active, like active meaning like they're actually producing. And then I've got like 20 frontline big time leaders that's done a lot of things. So I know each one of those did this launch. And if we go back and we laugh, we look at the interaction and how it all started. And all of us came from different types of success. So it's not just one of us had a bunch of success and came from somewhere else. We're all different and it still works. So we like to call it proven system, but everything has flaws. So
yeah, no, for sure. Hey, Melissa, I massively appreciate you. Thank you so much for being with us in this first part. And I can't wait to go deeper on this. All right, so Melissa is a beast, and again, super humble, super down to earth. The jacket she was wearing, I was like, oh, that's a snazzy jacket. And she told me, I think she pretty much said like, yeah, this is 20 quid, this $20 thing. Anyway, she's amazing. I've got a lot of time for her. She's really great. Being so great being able to work with her. So in the behind the scenes access interview that we do, she discusses what to send to people after they comment. So obviously you make the curiosity post, people comment, yeah, I'm in, let's go, I want to do this, let's do it, I'm in, let's go, I'm ready, here we go, I want to know more information, da, 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 da. She then lets us know in that interview what to send when someone comments. Then how to effectively run the launch call itself. So not necessarily just what to do again with more information on the actual post, but when it comes to the launch call, what are you talking about? What are you discussing? Who's running it? How long's it last? We'd cover all of that. So it's amazing. If you haven't already done so, get your all action pass today. It's FrazerBrookes.com/all-access-pass, and you're going to get the lifetime access to this content and conversion summit. You're going to get the recordings of the behind the scenes interviews that I did with all the speakers for life, and lifetime access to the new social media bootcamp that we did. All right. So here we go. I want to give you your 3 dares. Before I do that, please let me know if you're able to in the Facebook group what your biggest bingo moment was, biggest takeaway, or biggest lesson learned from day 4, and encourage the people who who are taking part in this summit to make sure they go and watch today before it dies. Remember, it dies after 24 hours unless you have the all action pass. But remember, guys, if you have a team who are on this and you have a team chat or a team group, ask them what was their biggest bingo moment. What this is going to do is it's going to remind them, oh, I've got to go check it out. Oh, I need to go watch that. Oh, yeah, I agree. You were right. Melissa's post was really cool. Oh, we should implement that. We should do that. Okay? 3 dares, or your choice, if you choose, your mission is if you choose to accept it, is number 1. Is I want you to think about who you can invite to your very first secret sale on WhatsApp. Number 2, I want you to pick a relaunch date for your business and leverage what Melissa has done and make a post on social media announcing that you've got something exciting coming in the next 48 to 72 hours, right? Get people to engage on it. And obviously you're going to be relaunching your business, right? If they're curious enough about seeing what's going on in your life, they're curious enough to see what business you're involved in and what products you can help them with. And number 3, I want you to do a Facebook Live or a post with a very, very curiosity catching title. Follow the framework that Bill covered in the first part of this day. And I can't wait to see what you actually do and how you grow through this. Because remember, guys, it takes courage to do it, but it's always worth taking the courage, right? Okay, appreciate it, guys. I'll see you on day 5. See ya.